This is the book that made me want to yap. This entire thing is about this book. I hate. Oh my god, let me tell you, I despise this book. I read it in like 3 days because I had to. I knew it was like trash, right? It's trash book. You read it. It's like watching like Desperate Housewives or something. It's trash and everything angered me. I will be spoiling absolutely everything in the book because I have to talk about everything. I was super duper into books when I want to guess around like 8 to 10ish. And then I stopped reading for the longest time, and I got into it semi recently, as in like within the past couple years, which I found very difficult to do because obviously in the years that I was not reading, I was completely destroying my attention span, because what do you do when you're a teenager growing up in this century, right? But I'm back on my shit. My attention span is still, of my generation. However, reading books definitely really helped with that, which obviously is going to help with a lot of other areas of your life. But one thing that I really struggled with at the start is that I just like could not get back into reading, because when your attention span is bad, you can't find an enjoyable book. A book had to be really good in order for me to enjoy it and actually want to read it and like be able to like read it and get through it. Now I don't have that problem as much anymore. And what I've noticed is that reading shitty books is actually like the best time. It's such an easy thing to have a conversation about. Like, bad media is so easy to like talk about. And also reading is just good for you. I saw a video the other day of somebody talking about, I forgot who it was, but somebody talking about how consuming bad media, especially like bad nonfiction books that are like not true, like it's really good for your brain in terms of like detecting these biases and like being able to recognize bullshit a lot better. I have not been doing that. I've been reading a lot of like fiction books that are really bad. I recommend both. Anyway, let me go through some of these books. Not all of them will be bad. I'm just going to go through a bunch of the books that I've read within the past couple years. First and foremost, The 100-Year-Old Man. I'm very glad that this was one of like the earlier books that I read because it's a good one. I didn't know like how comedy worked in like a book. Like, I didn't realize how a comedy book would work. Basically in the show, it's like you're not really expecting it because like people do things and act things out faster than you can like think and predict and like read them, if that makes sense. Anyway, I just saw like in a book like how's it supposed to be funny, because I'm reading it like it's a slow process. A lot of humor, I think, is like quick and witty and like it's fast paced. But no, this book was absolutely fucking hilarious. I loved it. It's about a man who just turns 100 years old and he kind of just sets out on some bullshit, has a crazy wacky adventure at the ripe old age of 100, which is really fun. The next one is A Life on Our Planet. This one is nonfiction. It is written by, I forgot his name, David Attenborough. I'm not a big nonfiction fan, but I really liked this book. It felt to me, because I think David Attenborough is like a pretty, massive celebrity. And people know him as like the nature guy, right? And I thought it was like really impactful for like a nature guy to basically talk about how awful our climate crisis has gotten and like how much we're continuing to like choose to like support it and stuff. And look, obviously it's not all like doom and gloom. A really big important part of fighting the climate crisis is like hopefulness and like ways to combat it, especially like easy everyday like ways to combat that people want to like actually adopt, because the harder something is, the more drastic of a choice it is, people don't really want to do it. And he gives a lot of these like tips and tricks as well. He like gives us factual things about the planet that is bad, anecdotal evidence that like he has, because obviously he's been everywhere, he's seen all of it, and then like how we can aim to solve it a little bit, which is really, I don't know, I thought it was a really cute and lovely book. The next one is A Cage of Stars. As I'm reading this, I realize most of the books on here, especially the earlier ones, are like really actually good, which might not be the most interesting because I really wanted to talk about the really bad books. I'll get to it. A Cage of Stars is about this Mormon family, and the main character, she had, I think, 2 or 3 sisters, I don't remember. Her sisters died, and she kind of spends the entire book plotting revenge on the guy who killed them. I think the theme of religion was really nice in A Cage of Stars. I just thought it was like a cutesy little thing about like the family and stuff. This book, I hated the religion in this book. I absolutely despised it so incredibly much. This is like an autobiography written by a guy who kind of, I think he was like a fighter of some sort professionally, and then he started like his own like fitness coaching thing. I don't really know what to call it, but he helped a lot of people like with their physical health and stuff, because he used to be like really fat and overweight. The book outside of religion is a little bit of a nothing burger. It's kind of just like motivational Instagram pages, the ones who are like, you're the only one who can change your future. That's basically what the rest of this book is. And then there's a lot of God. And unlike A Cage of Stars, where it was kind of like, you know, Mormonism is a theme, it's just like present and it's something that you can talk about and stuff, and like how it impacts her journey, I felt like I was being indoctrinated in this book. And at some point, at some point in this book, bro writes, this is not a religious book. Like, he writes it like, this is not a religious book. This is not a book about religion or God or whatever. I laughed out loud. What are you talking about? I promise you, I would feel less pushed to become Christian if 18 Jehovah's Witnesses broke into my house. Anyway, hated this book. This is a super popular book. Everyone on the planet Earth has read this before me. Throne of Glass, it was good. I really, really liked it. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of fantasy, the genre. I think because it's a little Wattpad-y, but it's not bad. Like, I liked it. Didn't really like the romance options. I've heard spoilers, so I know, you know, it doesn't really matter, but didn't love the romance in here. Felt like it was actually really unnecessary, and I feel like it was kind of just like to fill space because maybe there was nothing else to talk about during those pages. But yeah, I feel like the romance in here was like super duper unnecessary. Read this, it's a kid's book, it was fine. It's about a girl and her grandmother, and they like magically teleport back into like Nazi Germany. Not Nazi Germany, I lied. And they get teleported back into London 1940. It was alright. Again, it's a kid's book. And honestly, I'm gonna get into it. After reading a lot of the bad books that I've read, this, being a kid's book, slayed so hard. Because I didn't actually, like, I had no, like, real qualms with it. I was just like, this is a kid's book. I was also given this. It's, like, a massive, the pages are, like, really thick. That's why the book is, and it's also, like, really big words. This is another kid's book. Again, great for a kid's book. 3 children, kind of 2.5. I'm gonna say 3 children who find a secret garden that used to belong to the dead wife of the guy who like owns the estate that they're on. And it's kind of like coming of age vibes. The garden grows, everyone in the story grows. Cutesy little book, liked it. I have not read The Hunger Games, so I don't know if that's like the reason that I loved the series so much, because I gave this book to somebody who has read The Hunger Games and really, really likes The Hunger Games, and bro was just like, yeah, this shit just like blatantly ripped off a lot of Hunger Games stuff. Like, I would just rather read Hunger Games again. It's really, like, not that great. So it might just be that, but I absolutely adored Red Rising. And then right after Red Rising, I read the second book. There's, I think, 5 or 6 in the series currently. I really liked both of them. You know, I was a bit scared that the second book was going to go to shit a little bit, because usually sequels do sometimes drop in quality a lot, but no, I think the second book in Red Rising was honestly better than the first one. I don't know. I also read Song of Achilles. I tried to read this again in my, like, when I was like 16 and had 0 attention span and just could not for the life of me. I had multiple people, this is a gifted book. I was supposed to give this back. But anyway, I was given this book at 16, never read it, was told by multiple people to read it, finally read it in 2025. It was a good book. I did enjoy it, but I don't think I loved it as much as everyone else loved it, because I never really had any kind of like mythology phase. I was never into any mythology as a kid. And also, I feel like the main theme is romance. And I think maybe I'm not just super into romance being like the main thing, perhaps. But the ending was actually super cute. I love this so incredibly much. To Kill a Mockingbird, again, tried to read this in my like teenage years. I also really liked it. I actually thought it kind of slayed a little bit. It's very just like plain, like, what? If you wrote this book today, it would just be like a nothing burger. Racism is bad. Black men get put in jail, not because they are guilty, but because they're black. The Scarlet Letter, I am not the biggest fan of old Shakespearean English. I think because I'm a little slow. And it took me so long to read this book, and it's not a big book. I like it more than I like a lot of like old classic literature. I say old classic literature, honestly, I think I just am not the biggest fan of Shakespeare. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I also read My Sister's Keeper, which is really, really popular, I'm pretty sure, because there was like also a movie done about it. But basically the main character was a test tube baby born to provide body parts for their older sister who has, I think, cancer. She's really, really sick. I stopped reading this because I really did not think it was that great. I might go back to it now, because after having read the next book I'm going to show, I gave this book too hard of a time. It's about 2 teenagers and they fight like ghosts or monsters or something. And I was just reading, I was like, this is boring. And like, I don't know, it's obviously a kid's book as well. That's another thing. It's a kid's book, so there's not everything's kind of just like given, I guess. I don't know. I just did not find this interesting. I was not enticed at all. This is another kid's book. This is part of like the read bad media kind of thing. Hated this book so incredibly much. It is labeled as a gothic romance. Main character is like a 2010s scene kid, I guess. She gets sent off to like a school for troubled kids because she was essentially going to hook up with a guy, and then all of a sudden bro fucking dies because the entire shed that they were in like catches on fire or something. I don't know. And so they send her off because they're like, you killed this guy and set fire and whatever. Everyone is a stereotype. You have the bimbo, you have the punk, you have the whatever. It is genuinely Wattpad. This is Wattpad. It's like love triangle stuff, as in there's two guys fighting over her, except there isn't two guys fighting over her. There's one guy that's trying to get with her, and then another guy that she is obsessed with and keeps saying like, no, I feel like I know him from a past life and this, that, and the third. And he's obviously trying to avoid the shit out of this girl. She starts stalking him, like searching up his family details, this, that, and the third. And obviously because it's Wattpad, at the end of the book, approaching the end of the book, he's like, no, I do actually have feelings for you, but like I couldn't because of this like supernatural force. The supernatural force being that he is a fallen angel, and that whenever he and her get together, she dies. And it's like, this has been going on for years and years and years, where like they keep reconnecting. Like when she gets like reincarnated, they keep reconnecting and they keep falling in love, and she keeps dying. And the guy that was trying to get with her and treating her incredibly fucking well, that's another, like, bro kept swooning over her, was treating her really well, like to picnics, and like gave her a necklace and stuff, and she kind of dismissed everything in like really stupid ways. Like when he gave her the necklace, she was like, oh, he can't buy my love, like how dare he think that. I'm sorry for giving you a necklace. I like you. Like, I have a crush on you. I gave you a necklace. God forbid. Yeah, and then she keeps, like, saying how, like, Daniel, I think, is the name of the other guy who she's obsessed with. It's like the author didn't really know how to write a guy who's conflicted. So he was very obviously trying to avoid her, but, like, there'd be, like, certain, like, I don't know. They couldn't write the conflict properly. He was genuinely just like disgusted and annoyed by her. And also there's a teacher, I think her name's Miss Sophia, who like I was really hoping she wasn't going to be evil, because they set it up way too easy at the start that she was going to be secretly evil and like be like fake nice the entire time. And then she did turn out to be exactly that, and it's like, you handed that to us. That's not a mystery. That wasn't fun to read. Anyway, yeah, everyone turns out to be like a fallen angel, or like some connected to fallen angels in some way, like all the bimbo, the punk, all of them. Yeah, also the first girl she becomes friends with, I forgot her name, but like she kind of gets thrown to the dust after, I'm gonna call her P because I forgot her name. It might be like Penny or something, I don't know. But after P becomes friends with her for no reason. P is like, I think her dad owns the school or something, or owned the school. I think her dad's dead. I don't really know, but she's connected to the school. Like she has special privileges because she's like the kid of someone, right? And she, for some reason, in a school full of misfits, nobody wants to be friends with her and gain all this access and information because she has like locks and whatnot, right? She decides that she desperately wants to be friends with main character. And we're just, it was like, you know, one of like the types who just like is really bubbly, like strikes, like becomes friends with you instantly because they keep talking to you, right? I don't know why she chose us, but she chooses us. She's kind of just like a pawn to push things along a little bit, to like let us sneak around, unlock rooms, stalk Daniel with like the database, the school database about him and stuff. But I wouldn't really call her a friend. And then she does become a friend, and then we just like get rid of our first friend. Like, she doesn't turn up at all until the end where we find out she's an angel. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like she should have been more fucking present throughout the entire... Girl, like, I feel like she used every female character and also that guy she was low-key dating. She used everyone to get to Daniel, who she should have truly just accepted that he did not like her. I don't like how the ending was like, no, he did secretly like her and he was just holding back, because... that, I feel like, is not a good lesson, because he did not fucking like her and he kept telling her to leave him alone. There was a movie adaptation of this with Emilia Clarke. I haven't watched the movie, but I've read the book now, and I hated that one also. I don't know. I might have been reading it wrong because I feel like everyone was obsessed with it. Again, I feel like maybe I don't like books where romance is the main thing. She gets hired to be his caretaker. He is absolutely disgustingly piss poor mean to her the entire time for no fucking reason. I mean, the reason is that he's like paralyzed and depressed, right? Because he used to be like super active, loved his like he's super rich, right? He could travel anywhere, like skydive, like do all this stuff, and he was really, really passionate about like being active. And then he got paralyzed from the neck down, which is obviously devastating, and he's very mad and grumpy at everyone. But the girl you just met is going to be your caretaker. Also, like, I'm so, like, you're a grown man. Like, you're gonna go to therapy, bro. You can't just be, like, fucking taking it out on everyone. Pissing me off. He was just incredibly fucking mean to her. And then she was like, gang, you do not have to be so mean to me. Like, I'm here to, like, I need this job and you're making it really fucking difficult. Because she's, like, piss poor. And then from that stage on, he, like, starts to be a little bit nicer to her. I don't know. I don't want part of the character development or plot for like your male character to be that he learns empathy. I really hate that. So he starts being nicer to her. They start falling in love. She has a boyfriend, mind you. And the book and the movie, I don't know if the movie did a better job of it, but the book is really trying to paint her boyfriend as a shithead, and I'm not fucking buying it. And this book actually pissed me off so much because it made me defend a man. I think Clark is the name of the main character. Clark's boyfriend, don't remember him. I'm gonna call him Neville Longbottom because I know Neville Longbottom played him in the movie. They really try to make Neville like a bit of a villain. I don't care. Neville was fine. Was he a shit boyfriend? Yes, if he had like a normal fucking human as his girlfriend, but he didn't. He had Clark as his girlfriend, and Clark was awful. This was a relationship between two straight men. Neville's biggest issue, like biggest problem, was that he didn't really care about her, wasn't very thoughtful, didn't want their relationship to progress. So yeah, that's just like your average shitty straight male boyfriend. Clark also did all of those things and cheated on him. Why are you making me defend a man? She like constantly says throughout the book that like, you know, it's essentially a marriage of convenience for her. It's a marriage of they're not married, and she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to have kids with him. She has zero ambition. She just kind of sucks. Oh my gosh, yeah, she genuinely has zero ambition. She's such a fucking loser. Like, I do think a lot of it is probably her family being like, we're piss fucking poor. You need to like help support us and shit, and that's gonna like, you know, kill your motivation to like do stuff that you're passionate about because you kind of push it to the back of your mind. But she is, oh my god, like she doesn't think about what she wants at all. She's like, do you want a boyfriend? I don't know. Do you want kids? I don't know. Do you have a specific like career that you want to go into? I don't know. Oh my god, she's a loser. She's a loser. Oh my gosh, she's actually just like your straight male boyfriend that just like games every day. That's who she is. Especially sort of gaming. She's on her boyfriend. And there's this one like she was supposed to go on a trip with her boyfriend when he did like this marathon thing, which she knows is really important to him, and he wanted her there to support him, right? This was planned months and months in advance. She cancelled, I think like the week before or some shit, to go on a trip with Will, I think it is, which is the guy that she's looking after. So she ditches the trip with her boyfriend to go on a trip with her employer, essentially. And obviously her boyfriend's like really, really mad about it. And they get in this fight. And then I kid you not, the boyfriend like cooks dinner for her and is like, look, I'm sorry, like I understand this job is important. And then he finds out that the trip is actually really intimate. Like it's not kind of just like a work trip. Like it's really like the purpose of this work trip is for them to go there and just have fun and go on like spa days and like do all this shit, right? And so he's like, okay, I feel a bit differently. You didn't phrase it like this. You were like, I'm going on a work trip. You didn't say I'm going on a vacation with my boss, which is also very, very fucking valid. And then she also makes fun of him for being like, because he's like jealous of their, you know, their little like budding relationship. And then she makes fun of him for being like, there's no way you're jealous of a guy in a wheelchair, which is great. Girl, he should have been, you wanted, girl, you literally, be so incredibly fucking for real with me right now. You literally cheat on him with the wheelchair man. What do you mean? Haha, lol, you're jealous of a man in a wheelchair. How am I gonna cheat on you with a man in a wheelchair? I don't know, but you fucking managed to do it, okay? You managed to do it. Do not give me a book or any kind of media where there's romance and the romance starts with the guy just being awful and mean. That's not romance. That's not a bad boy. That's an asshole. Thank you. The Story of an African Farm. It's described as a feminist novel. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I'm just not catching on The most feminist thing about it, like there were a handful of monologues about being a woman. Apparently, if you like search it up, it says it's a feminist novel because a big part of it is about Lyndall not wanting to marry her baby daddy. Lyndall was barely a side character up until the end, I feel. I thought this was a book about Waldo and his like relationship with God and his disillusionment with religion. I also feel like the author's racist. If it was supposed to be like racism as a theme, like something to talk about in regards to the book, I didn't catch on at all. I feel like the book is just racist because it was written by a white South African woman, right? Every character in this book, except for like a very select few, is white. And then the people that aren't white in this book, like the black people in this book, are only ever referred to with slurs, and they don't have like any speaking roles. Like maybe 3 lines maximum between all the colored people in this book combined. You know what I mean? Like if it was racism as a theme, you would have had like a black character at the forefront. They would have mattered as a character, but none of the colored characters mattered at all. I learned new slurs from this book. I do like religion as a theme in this book, and like Waldo's relationship with religion and Christianity. I think that was really nice. The Girl in Room 105. This book sucked so hard. This one book is the entire reason I am talking right now. I hate the main character in this because like the fact that like I have to read this in first person and be like, this is what I'm thinking in my head. This is what oh my god, this is, anyway. Our ex-girlfriend Zara does not want to have anything to do with us. She is not fucking interested. This is genuinely a case of like, if this was my ex-boyfriend, maybe I wouldn't block him because I would be genuinely fucking terrified of this man. So our ex-girlfriend Zara doesn't want anything to do with us. We are still absolutely obsessed with this woman. We broke up 4 years ago. We keep calling her, texting her, doing our best to get in contact with her. She most of the time does not answer at all. Maybe like 10% of the time she'll pick up, tell us to fuck off. And then we won't, and we'll try again. She currently has a fiance called Raghu. Every page truly in this book, I don't know if every page is just full of dialogue. Every page, every single page, 90% dialogue. This book is 90% dialogue. Genuinely, there is not a single like page where the author can just like set the scene, progress the story without a conversation. And I feel like that is such cheap and shitty writing. The main character sucks, and I thought he sucked because character development, right? Because like we love a good character development in a book. No, he sucks because I think the author just sucks. And you can tell how much the author does not see women as human beings. There are 2 women that we meet more than once in this book. One is Zara. On the night of her birthday, like 12 a.m. on her birthday, we break into her like dorm in uni, right? And she's dead. So Zara's dead. That's our first woman that we meet more than one time. The second woman is called Sexy Sheila. She's exclusively referred to as Sexy Sheila. She works with us at like this tuition company, and she is having an affair with our boss. The story is we go to her hotel room on her birthday because even though we've been stalking her for like 4 years and she keeps telling us to go away, on her birthday, she's like, wow, I can't believe you didn't wish me a happy birthday. Like, you can still do it now. Come over to my dorm room. So we like go to her dorm room. Throughout the entire book, up until the very end, we fully believe, like the main character fully believes that Zara sent him that text message saying like, I can't believe you didn't wish me a happy birthday, like come over, you can do it now, like in person, this, that, and the third. And I'm sure like we all know that that girl, that wasn't her. You get sent this text of her wanting to see you even though she has not wanted to see you for 4 years, and you get there and she's dead. She obviously did not send that fucking text message. But he spends the entire book thinking that she sent it. And this is important, right? The rest of the book is him investigating who killed her. Because the police arrests the watchman. We, the main character, we're like, I have a bad feeling about this. I feel like this isn't right. And then we go to the police, we investigate more, this, that, and the third. We find out it's not him, and the rest of the book is just finding out who it really is. Throughout the entire book, it's just him being like, I have a feeling. It's nothing up here. It's all in here. He has a feeling. And that's what drives him, because he has a feeling, okay? It's all about his fucking intuition. I guess he has a good intuition. But at the end, it's supposed to be like this like genius fucking mastermind plan of like how he catches the real killer. But he's dumb. Right? Okay, basically what happens. I'm gonna spoil it because this book sucks, it doesn't matter, don't read it. First of all, throughout the entire book, every time they have a new suspect, he's like, no, this is 100%, like, this is the guy, I'm certain. Like, he's, like, at random points, like, he will just call the police that he, like, the officer that is letting him work on this case. He's not police, by the way, he's just some guy working on the case because the police doesn't want to. But he'll call the police and be like, we have the guy, I'm confident, I'm certain. And his investigatory work is awful. His investigation is just, like, going to people and be like, did you kill her? Where were you on the night of a murder? Like this and like that's genuine. And you know, police growing up, he's gonna have to answer to you. And there's no like smart investigatory work throughout the entire like book. And then at the end, basically, he's like, oh my god, this guy that this new character, we haven't met him until like at the start. So he kind of just like gets introduced like when he's a suspect. Like, oh my god, this military guy like knew her and like bought her these really, really expensive earrings. Like, you do not just buy these earrings for anyone. Like, they might have been having an affair. They come up with this full-blown theory of them having an affair from this pair of earrings, right? They confirm this theory, even though like none of their theories are smart. They're just like fucking saying shit. They confirm the theory, they find evidence that they were on a holiday together and that they, like, she had a pregnancy scare, Zara had a pregnancy scare, and this is obviously while she was still dating Raghu, her fiance, at the time of her death. I don't really know how to describe it, so I'm going to use like another video that I saw online. This is about the book 13 Reasons Why. I think it was Courtney. She got up to Courtney after, I think it was like after they had their like gay moment, Courtney was like not really super close to her, I guess. Like, she was like being distant. I don't know. She was kind of just like also having friends outside of Hannah. But Hannah was just like, yeah, like Courtney's a fake bitch. Like, she doesn't actually care about me as a friend, like this, that, and the third. And there was like no real evidence or reason for her to feel like this, except like teen angst, right? But for some reason, the author decides to validate this teen angst and this feeling with zero evidence by making Courtney actually turn out to be a fake bitch at the end, even though she had no behavior or anything of being a fake bitch at the start. But because Hannah's like, Courtney's a fake bitch and this, that, and the third, it gets confirmed, right? This felt like that, where it was like, oh, I have this theory that she's like having an affair with him. And another example of this where they just have crazy fucking theories and the writer just like puts it in there. Throughout the entire book, everyone is saying, you know, it could have been the family. It could have been the family, mostly because they're Muslim. And obviously, if they're Muslim, it means they're like evil and guilty, right? One of the questions was like, did her dad do this like as an honor killing or something? And then another question is like, maybe they're part of a terrorist organization because they're Muslim. And that has something to do with her death. She comes from, despite Muslim, a very affluent, wealthy, and well-known family. There is zero reason for this family to be connected to terrorism or terrorists in any way, shape, or form. But they're Muslim. And remember, the author knows that they're Muslim. Therefore, her stepbrother is obviously part of a terrorist organization. So they're like thinking it's a Muslim thing, it's a terrorism thing, for no fucking reason, and then it gets confirmed. I can't even talk about this book in chronological order because everything just like pisses me off so much. Before we get into this terrorism and Muslim thing, the reason they broke up is because he introduced her, Zara. Okay, we introduced our girlfriend Zara to our parents, who are Hindu and hate Muslims. Parents liked her at first, because she was like very pretty, very smart. Then our parents find out that she's Muslim, and they kick her out basically. And so we lie to her. We're like, oh my god, girl, I got a job interview, so we gotta leave. You know, it's really important. So we leave. We're lying to her the entire time, like, no, my parents love you. And then finally, we meet her parents. Her parents. I'm not the biggest fan of you being Hindu and like because of like the cultural differences, but we're not that traditional, we're not that old fashioned. I, you know, am okay with this relationship. And then we're like, oh my god, gang, that's so cool, that's great, because my parents don't support us at all. Yeah, they're about to disown me for like marrying your daughter. And this is the first time we've told our girlfriend this. It is in front of her parents. And so she's like, gang, what the hell? This is not a conversation we've had. And then her parents are like, yeah, that changes things a little. Yeah, I don't support this as much as I thought I supported this. And they change their mind. They're like, okay, you can't really, I don't like the idea of like not having parents on your side. You can convert to Islam if you want to marry our daughter, but I don't really support it otherwise. We kind of sit on this for a while. Our girlfriend's like, do you want to defend me against your parents at all? And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. They're my parents. He's ready to like be disowned by his parents, but he doesn't want to fight back against his parents and like defend the supposed love of his life to his parents at all. And so she's like, okay, will you convert for me then? And he's like, no. And she's like, okay, well, you know, hey gang, that's not a lot of like leeway. There's not a lot of room that you're leaving for me. And so we're arguing about this for a while. And then eventually, because we're an alcoholic, right? By the way, this is a Muslim family. We get drunk, call her dad, cuss him out, call him names, say really mean things. So our girlfriend Zara comes to us and she's like, gang, that was not okay. You can't just do stuff like that. And we're like, oh my God, give me a break. Like, basically, like, get a fucking grip, like, whatever. And she's like, I can't do this. I'm done. I'm like, we're breaking up. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's it? Is that easy for you? And she's like, no, it's not that easy for me. I gave up a scholarship to MIT to be in this fuck ass university with you. And we're like, oh wow, now you're just guilt tripping me, like, woo fucking who, you gave up your scholarship to MIT, whatever. And she's like, yeah, I'm doing all that. You can't do anything for me. You can't convert, you can't talk to your parents, like, you can't do anything. You're genuinely leaving no room for this relationship to progress. So I'm breaking up with you. And then we're like, oh my God, what? Just because we said some mean words to your dad? Okay, I'm sorry, all right? That's how we apologize. Like, fine, I'm sorry. Is that what you want? I'm sorry. And she's like, no, gang, I'm breaking up for real. So that's how we break up. And then we spend the next 4 years stalking her. How absolutely dare we? Also, we just suck because at the start, we're like meeting Zara and how she's like super smart. She's like winning debates and stuff. She's an absolute scholar. She's going to like protest. She's really like socially active. And we go to a protest with her. We're there to get in her pants. We truly do not care because she's like talking about all this political stuff. And then we keep saying that we don't care about I hate talking about politics. I really don't like to get this politics, but I don't really want to like upset her and burn this bridge over stupid politics. So I'm just going to go with whatever she says, right? Basically, we don't give a fuck. And this carries on throughout the entire book. There's constantly politics coming up. There's constantly politics coming up. There's constantly like human rights and stuff coming up. And we're just like, I have a no politics rule, so I keep steering the conversation away. It's an awful book. Another thing that I thought was very reminiscent of 13 Reasons Why was the fact that the author really, really struggles to come up and talk about women's pain outside of sexual assault and rape. Because obviously 13 Reasons Why, Hannah Baker gets sexually assaulted like 5 different times because that's all the author knows to talk about. This is giving the same thing. First suspect, the security guard at the university. He is upskirting girls. He is constantly making girls uncomfortable, staring at them, trying to say something, like, just like construction man behavior, right? And then Zara confronts him, slaps him in public. That's why, like, with, you know, thinking that he was also away from the station, right? But actually, he couldn't have been guilty because the reason he was away from his station was because he was jerking off at that time. That's another thing in this book. I don't know who the target audience is in terms of age range. The way that it's written, the tone and the naivete and just like it's so poorly written. I don't think there was a single simile or metaphor in this entire book. It is just, and again, all of it's dialogue because the author doesn't know how to just like write a scene. It's giving kids book. It reads like a children's book, but the themes, like sexual themes, adult themes come up so unnecessarily often. And also the way that they're talking about the things are so stupid. I don't understand. Like, is this for a 10-year-old or is this for an adult? Because it reads like it's for a 10-year-old. Conversations about pregnancy tests will just be like, what is this? It's for pregnancies. It helps you get pregnant? No, it's to check if you're pregnant. So what do you do with it? You pee on it. Oh my God, he's peeing on these? No, the woman pees on it. That's genuinely the that I kid you not, that's conversation about pregnancy tests in this book. They found like a bag of like, you know, powder. They take it to the police guy and they're like, what is this? And he's like, are you joking? Is this supposed to be like a prank or a joke or something? This is cocaine. Cocaine? You mean like it's a drug? And then we also had to ask, what is upskirting? So there's like the watchman, and then Zara's professor, so her supervisor basically for her doctorate, is also hitting on her despite having a wife and kids, and is delaying her doctorate and saying, if you sleep with me, you know, I can make something happen a little faster. It was the brother as a suspect, which didn't count as like a sexual theme. However, terrorism and Muslim, it was that theme. And then the final 2 suspects were also sexual themes. So that's another thing. This scholar, this alumni, this scholarship to MIT girl who like really cared about social causes and everything. She was having an affair with this guy and just let him hit it raw. And then that's another thing I want to find. There is like a full text conversation from this point down. There's like a full, way too long text conversation. It ends here, right? Of her and her affair partner. Which A is not necessary. It does not need to be that long. That was complete bullshit. But then also in that text conversation, she's like, oh my god, my period's late. And he's like, oh my god, there's no way. Like, how did this happen? Like, I pulled out. Scholarship to MIT. There is like a Tinder conversation between our best friend Saurabh. No, it was us. It was us on Tinder and a girl, because Saurabh tells us to go on Tinder. And then the girl turns out to be a prostitute. Our friend is obsessed with Tinder, really trying to find a girl, right? We can say they're struggling to find girls because they suck. Saurabh is painted as not being able to get a girl because he's fat. That's not the reason. The way he views women is so disrespectful, and his best friend views them the exact same way. And also, his best friend is stalking his ex for 4 years. So obviously nobody's gonna want to fucking date that. There's literally a conversation where he's like, oh yeah, I had a conversation with a girl and she just said that she really wanted honesty. And then, so I was honest. I said that I'm just here for sex. And then she unmatched with me. Fucking bitch. Like, what the fuck do you mean, like, you care about honesty? Honesty, my ass. That's basically exactly how the conversation goes. And it's like, yeah, you are honest. Congratulations. She's allowed to be honest about the fact that she isn't just looking for sex. And that she... Like, do you realize that women are also human beings? Like, you said, I want sex. And then she's allowed to, like, think about that and have a reaction to that? She obviously didn't. You know how she's allowed to have an opinion? She didn't want to just come here for sex. Fucking thick in the head, bro. So bro was on Tinder again, and now he's like, no, fuck Tinder. And we're like, why? And he says, I matched with this girl, and then he goes, turned out to be a transvestite. What? He said, I have boobs, dick, and a heart. Want to meet? I burst out laughing. 2 out of 3 isn't bad, I said. You could have adjusted. Shh, be quiet. You want the Faucis? I don't know what that is. To come and clobber us, Saurabh said, eyes still on his phone screen. That's the tone throughout the entire book. That's it. Read bad books. It's really fun to talk about, and also probably really good for your brain. It's definitely a lot better than doom scrolling.